Hello, my friends. What should every person with Parkinson's have in their toolbox? Their mental health toolbox, their toolbox, period. And I'm going to do a series of these videos, actually, because we all need things that are going to help us survive. And something happened to me. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you might not have seen the post or read what I had written, but I'd like to share it with you, because it was really scary. And so my first tip is everybody with Parkinson's needs to have a way to prevent or stop a panic attack before they happen. Now, I'm not a doctor. Nothing that I say is obviously definitive. This is just my opinion. In the description down below, I will put some links to some videos and some resources that I find helpful, informative, and you can check those out. So what happened to me was really scary. And I'm wearing my t-shirt because I have to say, this was a concert. It was my second time seeing Harvey. And if you are a music lover, it might not be your kind of music, but if you're a fan of Harvey, you have to see her live. She is absolutely enchanting. Every time I talk about it, I start getting goosebumps because both shows, I saw her maybe 5 or 6 years ago at the Masonic Theater. It was the same theater. I've been to this theater 3 times. The other time I was there was for Liz Phair. And anyway, so this was just this past Thursday, October 10th. And the show, it was just stunning. I was in tears. It was emotional. It was just beautiful. My God, she's just enchanting. And so anyways, the show started. Now we had floor tickets, and I have a concert friend that I go to see a lot of shows with. His name is Scott. And so we had talked about getting seats versus the floor. And so usually when we do concerts and we pick general admission or the floor, we'll kind of hang out towards the back. And I do that because in case I need to sit down or I need an escape route. And for this particular show, the theater is it's beautiful. And when we got there, I got a little ambitious. And also the theater didn't do, I think, the best job of keeping the aisles clear. Because what ended up happening was the show started, we had a little space around us on the floor. We were towards the back of the floor by the stairs that would lead you out a little bit further towards the exit door to the main lobby. And so about 30 minutes into this most beautiful, emotional, just breathtaking performance, I start going off. My meds, they start just, I can feel it. It's time for my dose. I thought I had timed everything right, but I had actually put my pill bottle in my pocket because I didn't want to have to rummage through my purse in the dark, and there just would have been no way. And actually, inside the purse, my sling bag that I have my little fanny pack that has all my emergency meds, my medications in there, but I took my medications and I put it in my pocket. So it took about, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes. It's hard to tell, but it took about, I'd say 20 minutes before my medicine kicked back in. But during that 20-minute period is where I was I really had to kind of fight against letting a panic attack happen. And it just came on. It was all of a sudden, there were just I was surrounded by people everywhere I looked. So the aisles, which should have been cleared, were just packed with people. And it was I'm oh my God, and I tried not to think of it, but I could envision if I had passed out or if I collapsed or whatever, I would have disrupted this amazing performance. I just couldn't do it. And so I just tried to focus on the stage and just really not let my thoughts go there, but it was hot and I could not move. If I needed, if there was a fire or whatever, or I don't even want to say it, but it's America. I think you can, where I go, if someone crazy was in there and I needed to run, I couldn't have run. I was just frozen, standing right in that position. And my left foot, like it felt just like lead, and it was like, and it actually started to get numb. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But thankfully, you know, my medicine kicked in. The other thing that was also interesting, so I have my emergency medicine, the Imbresia, which is that dry powder inhaler that I take. I have that in my power pack, which would my fanny pack, which was in my purse. But like, to have tried to even load one of those in the dark, surrounded by people, like we weren't smashed with people, like, you know, people were around, but, you know, just really close. Like there was just no way I would have been able to do it. So it was all like very much like a, you know, just breathing and relaxing and trying to focus on the music. Because the other thing that sometimes happens when, and I'd say that this is, you know, relatively like a newer thing, but like when I go off, and then especially in like an environment that is so hyper like stimulating, you know, it's like your perception just kind of shifts just a little bit. The breathing, the trying to stay calm, the not like letting my mind just go there and focusing on this like gorgeous performer and the music, and then having my friend next to me help me get through it. I mean, it was just like, whew. And then once I could move, and like it just, what a relief. I had to get out of there. So, and then of course, like since the aisles weren't clear, I had to, you know, and it was just like, you know, trying to like people wouldn't move because they really couldn't either. So it's like getting out of that situation was even, you know, a little bit challenging. But once we got out, I talked to one of the staff members and I said, hey, you know, and I just explained what had happened. And like, she was so nice. Her concern was that the show was sold out. And so she was worried that they wouldn't even have had an ADA seat available, but they did. They had 2 seats. So for the remainder of the show, we sat up on the in the balcony, which was just so wonderful. But yeah, it's like, and I know that everybody, sometimes you might not be able to prevent them, but that doesn't mean that we don't have tools that help us. I mean, like, maybe it could be like a little essential oil or whatever it is for you. Like if you're in a place where it's quiet, maybe you have like a song or something that like you can think of in your mind, or have different tools and as many as you need in your toolbox to help prevent an anxiety or a panic attack before it sets in, ideally. Because then once it sets in, it's just, you know, obviously it's such a it's not a good feeling. So, and you know, and if indeed, in my mind, I feel like I prevented one, maybe I had like a mild one, if that's even possible. I don't know, but that would be my recommendation for every person with Parkinson's. And in one of the videos that I'm going to put in here, down in the description, is a TED Talk. And like 2 of their solutions, one was antidepressants, the other one was CBT. I'm all for CBT therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, I don't need any more drugs in my life, that's for sure. I've taken enough medicine. So, and I've talked about this in other videos. I have an amazing cognitive behavioral therapist, and I have had her since like the beginning. And she's part of my healthcare team. She's another, you know, I could do a whole video on that. Like, so with this series, I'm sure I will probably say, you know, what every person with Parkinson's needs to have. I would add like therapists. I mean, there's a lot I think I can go with this, but yeah, that's my advice. And you know, the concert thing is it is like it's my religion. Music is my religion, and if I you know, have to sit down now for concerts, or be a little bit more aware, because I think what ended up happening too is why we ended up getting so close is just because we love her so much. I mean, and she's just really, she's like, oh, it was such a great show. And I think I got a little ambitious and a little bit overconfident. So the other part of it too is to not try to put yourself in those types of situations. But the reality is like, you know, sometimes you're not going to be able to avoid those situations because it just happens. And like, there you are, like on the verge of starting to panic. And, you know, it is what it is. And so, but if you have some tools that you can deploy to prevent and stop it happening before it does, I think that's, it'll be a really, really good, helpful thing for anybody with Parkinson's disease. And actually not even with Parkinson's disease, just people in general. Have something in your toolbox, many things, that will help you stop or prevent a panic or anxiety attack before it happens. As always, comment below. I love hearing from you. What's your thoughts on this video, panic attacks, the advice, what works for you, what doesn't? Have you had them? Have you, you know, all of it? If you think this is helpful, whatever it is you have to say, I welcome your comments. Thank you as always for watching these videos. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You can check out my Instagram page too. Like, I'll put a link to that down below. You can follow me on Instagram, and thank you.